doing what we are doing. And I believe that maybe we'll have thousands of people coming out to something like this. And I believe that maybe it's not just one bar, maybe it's two, maybe it's three. We've got a movement of hope that can go out to a whole different set of bars all over the Chicagoland area. I believe that we'll be a church that helps the poor. And I believe that we'll help people that are just far and lost and need something. I believe that we'll be a viable church that meets inside of bars and nightclubs. And I can't wait to look back and say, look at what God did. Look at what he's continuing to do. Look at that God. He's doing some pretty cool things again. In that moment, if we get to that point, we'll stop, and if we're smart, we'll realize that it wasn't our abilities, it wasn't our talents, it wasn't our resources, but it was God. And although God tries to paint this picture to Moses that someday something is going to happen, Moses still has a lot of questions. And he's still sitting there like, wait a minute, there's a lot of things that need to happen still here. And he starts saying, wait, suppose this, or suppose that. What if this? What if that? What if nothing happens? What if I go out there and they put me in prison, or whatever it is that happens? It's as if God is going to go along and he's just going to say, oh, you're right, Moses. Yeah, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. Let's hold up for a second. Let's back up. You're not the right person. I must have dialed the wrong number. Is this the same Moses that I created? I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this story tonight and why it's so relevant to all of us is that, like Moses, we kind of get excited about this concept. We like the idea of starting a church for people who don't like going to church. We like the idea of creating a place for non-perfect people. We like the idea of creating a community like this. Most of us are on board with the idea of being in a bar. And some of us might be thinking a little skeptical about that still, and that's okay. But some of you get that we're starting this church for people who don't like church, but still want a relationship with God. And so there's some sort of buy-in to what we're doing. And see, I think that some of us, we think this is a really, really good idea. But what I want to do tonight is I want to challenge us. Any person who is a person of faith and that's in this room, that likes the idea of what we're doing as Next City, who would get behind it conceptually, would you get involved with it personally? Would you get connected to it personally? I know many of us love what's going on here. We love the idea. And we appreciate what's happening. I'm not interested in giving some sort of infomercial tonight, but whether it's Next City or whatever else you guys want to get involved with, what God's doing somewhere else, that's fine. But there's 3 ways I think that we can all get involved. Very practical ways that we can do that. The first one is this: give me your time. Give me your time. Volunteer. I know that we've got people, we've got jobs, we've got 50, 60 hours a week going on with our lives, and we've got all kinds of things going on. And quite honestly, though, there's people all across the world that are working 50 to 60 hours a week and still have time to give to the church. And still have time to be able to get involved. And there's something life-giving that comes when we create an atmosphere where we make it easier to connect people with God. And there will be a day when people are going to say, I connected with God because somebody created an environment for me to do that. How would you get involved personally in creating this kind of environment? Would you give your time to it? Would you work for it? I think some of the best things you can do is try to get involved in one way or another, just kind of figure out what you want to do, and then just go do it. Talk to me about it. Trial and error is always a good idea. Maybe you would come and you would just say, hey, I'm willing to come in and just welcome people because I want to love people from the door in or from the parking lot in, whatever that is. Maybe you're willing to help people connect here tonight. Maybe you'd be able to say, hey, I know you guys don't have a kids ministry yet, and it might be a little awkward doing it in a bar, but hey, maybe we can come up with something. Maybe you'd be able to come along and just say, hey, I'd love to help out with getting production a little bit more better, or helping you guys get this thing ready together and make it look good. Maybe you'd help set up or tear down. But would you get involved with it? Would you say that you're willing to get involved? And I know a lot of people that they don't get involved for all kinds of reasons, and one of the main reasons is, nobody asked me. Get that a lot. Nobody asked me to get involved, so it's hard for me to be able to get involved. But the truth is, if I come to you and I ask you to do something and it's outside of where you're gifted and what you love doing, It's not going to be any good for you. You're not going to enjoy that. And so I need to have people come to me and say, hey, I'm really talented in this area, and we can come and talk, and we can make something happen from there. Second way we can get involved personally is we give them our resources. And this is not rocket science here. God uses the combined resources of the people in this room to change our world. God always says that you do your part and I'll do mine. And just completely debt free. And here's the truth though, if I challenged everybody in this room just to give $1, I don't think anybody would be offended by that. But that's not actually what I'm saying tonight. I'm saying that you do what you think God wants you to do and then just go and do it. This may actually be, really kind of hard for some of us. Number 3, we got to invite other people. I know we're looking a little grim tonight, and I know that Tom Skilling screwed us up tonight a little bit. But anyway, we got to invite people to come out. That's the most important part here. We never grow unless we start really doing this together. And I would love to challenge everybody in this room. Bring 5 friends. Invite 5 friends. Donna, you've done a fantastic job at that already. I think you at least got 5 minutes with you. We want to push this idea. And we want to push this idea on Facebook and all over the place to try to make a connection. And if you have any ideas on how to get more people to come, we'd love that. Come talk to me about it. I would love to talk with you. I love what David, the second king of Israel, said when he led the people of Israel in this massive campaign. It says in 1 Chronicles, he says, but who am I and who are my people that we could give anything to you, God? Everything we have comes from you. And we give you only what you gave us first. So here's the cool thing. Next city, I believe, is going to grow. And people will come from all over the place. And they're going to love what we're doing here. And they're not going to think that we're just